For a long time, I treated rest like something earned after I'd done enough work. If I was tired, I trained anyway because I had to stick to my workout schedule. If something hurt, I just worked around it, and if I felt flat or my mood was low, I assumed the answer was more effort. That approach worked for decades until I ran myself into the ground. This video is about what changed when I finally stopped trying to outwork my body and started listening to it. I'm Sandy, and I'm currently 56 years old. And well past 50 is about aging with intention, without extremes, gimmicks, or borrowed certainty. If you've been following this series, you know that I frame wellness around 4 interrelated elements: fitness, nutrition, mental health, rest, and recovery. This video is about the last element, and the one most men who work out regularly ignore. Many of us who exercise consistently don't prioritize rest and recovery because they don't feel like it's productive. It might even feel like we're being lazy. For me, there was a time when rest felt negotiable. If I was sore, I trained a different body part or switched exercises. If I was tired, I pushed through because I had my schedule or a goal I was working towards. So if I slowed down, I felt like I was loafing it. And then I turned 50. If you're paying attention, or let's face it, even if you're not, age has a way of clarifying things. Over the past 6 years, I've come to respect rest and recovery as essential parts of training and life. Since they have become non-negotiables, this is how I think about rest and recovery now. As much as possible, I like to keep things simple. The distinction that's been most useful for me is this: rest is passive, recovery is active. So what do I mean by this? I think of rest as stillness, things like sleep, reading, meditation, sauna, massage, moments where the nervous system finally gets permission to downshift and the body switches into full restore and repair mode. Recovery, on the other hand, is movement without strain. For example, walking instead of running, Pilates instead of weight training, gentle mobility work instead of pushing range. Now, one is not better than the other. They both matter, especially if you're active, stressed, or carrying years of accumulated load, which at this point describes most of us who are over 50. Like with other health practices, after 50, there is a cost to ignoring rest and recovery. When I ignore rest and recovery, the signs are predictable. Small aches and pains linger. My sleep quality drops. I start to feel burnt out, and then my motivation drops. And then the big one for me, my mood declines. It's usually nothing dramatic. These things sneak in, so they often feel like they're no big deal. But that's the danger. Wear and tear accumulates slowly. Burnout rarely announces itself. It just shows up while you're busy getting life done. And even if you don't work out, this still applies. I've learned this the hard way. If you don't schedule rest and recovery, your body will eventually force it. As we age, we gain wisdom, hopefully. With that wisdom, we can learn to self-assess. We can ask, how am I really doing? What is my body needing? For me, one of the harder lessons has been learning the difference between not wanting to train and actually needing rest. Now, they feel similar, but they're not the same. This is where experience helps. If you're paying attention, you start to recognize patterns. You learn when pushing builds resilience and when it just digs a deeper hole. I wish I could give you a secret formula here. Now, there are apps and other tech that can provide some feedback, but ultimately at this stage of life, you really do have to become your own reference point. If you're truly in touch with your body, then you'll see and feel that rest and recovery are not flaws in the system. They are the system. Over the past 6 years, I've had to develop a rhythm that works for me. Through trial and error, I've settled into a routine that keeps me healthy, motivated, and largely injury-free. I work in 1-month cycles. This is how I do it. I perform 3 weeks of fairly focused training, but even during these harder weeks, I build in at least 1 full day of rest. On the 4th week, I make a significant and deliberate downshift. This is when I back off on intensity, drop the volume, and prioritize rest and recovery. On these lighter weeks, there's more walking, more gentle movement, more space to relax and refill the tank. This isn't just about optimization, it's also about sustainability. I do this because I want to keep moving for decades, not just for seasons. In future posts, I'll break it all down in more detail and show you how to build a 4-week program tailored to your life and your goals. I think the key factor as we age is adjusting without giving up. There's no getting around it. The body changes as we get older. Recovery takes longer, and there's less margin for error. The call isn't to stop. The call is to adjust. For example, I can still run 5 to 10 kilometers. I just do it a lot slower. My thinking is different now, though. The goal isn't the time. It's finishing uninjured while enjoying the scenery and fresh air. And this is the important part. Running at a pace that doesn't break me so I'm able to train again next week. Getting out of ego training and letting go of old metrics takes time, but it is worth it. A few final thoughts for you. Rest and recovery don't work in isolation. They only work in combination with movement, nutrition, and mental health. If you're weak in one area or completely miss one, then the others eventually suffer. When all 4 elements are in balance, something changes. You develop a steadier, more forgiving relationship with your body. That's what wellness looks like for me now. Not doing less out of decline, but doing things differently out of listening. It's about respecting your elder self and learning when to let your body catch up. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. If you want more of this kind of work, you're welcome to subscribe. New videos come out regularly. Thanks so much for being here.